Beyond the newsroom, where untold story is revealed.
Without going into the details clause by clause, the NRM Parliamentary Caucus goal to support
memorandum that came from Buganda Kingdom. The memorandum went missing.
Finally, President Mu7 abakkiriza ababaka ba NRM bo bakujja nga bo bagamba nti bill erina okuyita. Togera ku sovereignty bill okunyoka olutalo oluyogaano ebigambo okubiwanyisaganya wali mu setteeserezo w'eggwanga kankolembwe bati likinga bino nno bikutiisa bikulu nnyate.
Finally, I am going to come back to Uganda.
Ebuvanjuba ne bugwanjuba ewaka wasigalawo ewasinga. Beyond the newsroom gwe mukutu ogukuleetera ekyo ekisinga katiranga naffe ng'oyita ku noti 7745458 ne noti 7442645 na bino bikulu tetulanga bafere tetulanga basawo ba kinnansi n'abagwa mu kkoowa eryo mwebale kutuwagira.
Thank you. Ekifaananyi ekyo kyoli mu kubanga olaba mu mawulire ge tulinawo ekiwandiiko kifulumye nga kiraga nti ababaka okuva mu kibiina ki NRM gye bayita NRM caucus nga basisinkanye omukulembeze w'eggwanga wali ku President Conference Hall olunaku lwaleero ku makya bakkiriziganyizza wamu era ne bakkaanya nti bo bagenda kuwagira etteeka li sovereignty bill ezimu ku nsonga 18 ze bawadde. Mu kiwandiiko kino bagamba nti bo nga bamemba ba NRM caucus nga batudde ku office ya president gye bayita President Conference Hall olunaku olwokubiri olunaku lwaleero ku makya bakkiriziganyizza wamu nti eggwanga lya Uganda lyetaaga biiru eno eyite bunnambiro. Honorable Nambooze Oduru balina maasawo nga bo bagamba nti n'ekikonde kakiveeyo lwaki mututeekako embeera. Nakunnyonnyola ne nkugamba nti byonna bino bikolebwa nga entities 53 akwezo ezayitibwa wiiki wedde mu ggwanga ku parliament okubaako bye buziteeseza bannayuganda 51 ku zo bo bagamba nti biiru eno mbi nnyo eri eggwanga wabula bo abakulu ba NRM bageze maaso ne bagamba mu kiwandiiko kino ne bagamba nti the imperative obligation of safeguarding Uganda's sovereignty, national security, a constitutional order and socio-economic stability in an increasing complex global and domestic environment. Bano bagamba nti abenabena abagala kubanga ba increasinga n'okugadinga Uganda n'okugiwa obwebange ate n'obwetengereze mu bintu nga ebyensimbi, national security, ebyokwerinda by'eggwanga ate kosa ne constitutional order, a constitution era ne bagenda maaso ne bakola appreciation ewalala ne bagamba the strategic guidance provided by His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni kitegeeza wa Uganda ne NRM chairman guided by the presentation and discussions of the position of government regarding the protection of sovereignty bill 2026 as presented by the Minister of Internal Affairs and further guided by the Attorney General. Kitegeeza nti Minister of Internal Affairs jukira bino byabwe kakati sija otafiire yekahinda otafiire generali ne Attorney General ayitibwa Kiryowa Kiwanuka.
Memorandum that came from Buganda Kingdom. Madam Speaker, when we reached Munyonyo, the memorandum went missing. Madam Speaker, they have told you here. Let me tell the Speaker. Madam, the Shadow Minister for Internal Affairs, I went to the committee with a request to make a presentation. Madam Speaker, I happened to arrive before the Attorney General. The chairman of the day, Honorable Ababaka, requested me to wait for the Attorney General to present so that I could also be given time. After the Attorney General had made his presentation of amendments, Honorable Ababaka ruled that I will make my presentation while at Munyonyo. When we reached Munyonyo, Madam Speaker, Honorable Kajenje ruled that my request had been overtaken by events. Madam Speaker, I chose to write a minority report because the issues I was going to raise had not been raised by anybody else. So I wrote a minority report, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, you are now ruling that there is no time. Madam Speaker, as a member of the committee, I'm not supposed to debate. Madam Speaker, there was a memorandum that came from Buganda Kingdom. Madam Speaker, when we reached Munyonyo, the memorandum went missing. Madam Speaker, they have told you here. Let me tell the Speaker. Madam Speaker.
Honourable members, give Betty time. Some order.
Madam Speaker, I've heard the chairman telling you that when we were at Munyonyo, we heard from the governor, Bank of Uganda. And you know, Madam Speaker, I was so surprised because while the rest of us were in Munyonyo, we were never informed that even the governor of Bank of Uganda had gotten back to us. Madam Speaker, because of those many issues, we are also told that 700 people sent memorandums to the committee, but only 47 of them were accounted for. I feel so silenced. Is it your ruling that the people from Mukono should not be heard on this?
Honorable Betty. Honorable Betty, my sister. The people of Mukono have been heard. You've spoken for over 5 minutes. You've raised your issues, and we are going to address all of those issues. Honorable members, we have all these supplementary
amendments may be proposed by any other person who is not the proposer to the bill. With all due respect, the learned Attorney General proposed 18 amendments, all quite substantial in nature, which amendments the majority unilaterally adopted and relied on to pass the bill in the committee. The committee sought to have rejected the committee ought to have rejected the substantial amendment proposed by the learned Attorney General outrightly. To even make it worse, Madam Speaker, the new amendments were laid before the committee in form of a new bill. Rule 135, Sub-Rule 1, confines the committee to a bill read for the first time in the House and referred to the committee. The committee is stopped from directly receiving bills not read in the House and referred to it by fraudulently bypassing this House and smuggling an amended version of the bill to the committee, an illegality that goes to the root of parliamentary procedure and practice was committed and cannot be cured by any explanation at all. Madam Speaker, the minority further observes that no sooner had the learned Attorney General purported to present the amended Protection of Sovereignty Bill 2026 to the committee at about 12 noon on Thursday, 30th April 2026, than His Excellency the President, through his address to Ugandans at about 4 p.m. on the same day, withdrew instructions from the learned Attorney General. Instead, President publicly assigned Honorable Dennis Amson Obua to ensure that the bill concentrates on what he calls sovereignty of policy decision making. In the practice of law, there is nothing professional as humiliating as a client withdrawing instructions from you and sharing it out with the public outright. No wonder, since then, neither the Attorney General nor the Minister of Internal Affairs ever attempted to appear before the committee or the House. The House must therefore not entertain the two on anything to do with the Protection of Sovereignty Bill 2026, since the President withdrew the vote of confidence in them. The minority, Madam Speaker, formed the view that Honorable Obua Hamson, having been given fresh instructions as per the written expression of the President, ought to have immediately sought audience with the committee to present the instructions given to him. Was it an instruction to withdraw the bill, or was it, what was it? despite the insistence of the minority to invite the Honorable Hamson Obua under Rule 135 Sub-Rule 2 to make all such inquiries in relation to the bill, as this was the most expedient. The co-chairpersons, Honorable Kajwenje Wilson...
Honorable Jana, sorry for interruption. My presumption is that when you bring a minority, you bring your points of departure, not procedure. Flavia, points of departure, not a debate on the procedural ways.
Madam Speaker, respectfully, this is one of the points of departure that I had.
Which one? Which one?
Under subheading 3.1, I said areas of dissent and statement for reasons of dissent as provided in the rules. The first was violations of the rules of procedure of Parliament. And I am explaining under Rule 135 that the committee ought to have examined and on its own move to go and inquire, to make inquiries. And my point is, having come to the attention of the committee that Honorable Obua Hamson was assigned, the committee ought to have moved itself to request Honorable Obua to come and substantiate. It goes to the root of my dissent, Madam Speaker.
So the committee instead went to Honorable Obua? Or they should have?
Sitting at the conference hall office of the President, as the harmonized position of government on the Protection of Sovereignty Bill 2026, and the details of which will be tabled in Parliament this afternoon. We are talking about harmonized because the National Resistance Movement is a party and government that listens to the people. The bill as presented attracted or generated debate across board. The leadership of NRM has listened to the input and the contribution of stakeholders, and we have accordingly harmonized the bill in line with a number of proposals made by the stakeholders while appearing before the two joint committees.
nga 12 May olunaku leero minisita ate oboolyawo ne Richard Todong owa NRM bakakasiza ne bagamba nti eggwanga lijja kubeera ku public holiday naku z'omwezi nga 12 kitegeeza nti togenda okukola olunaku olwo President Mu7 wagenda okubangalayira wabula bino byonna bigenza okujja nga Bobi Wine agamba nti mu bbanga eritali tono mu ssaawa ezitali ngere ezitannategeerekeka mu ddakiika mu sekonda naye ajja kubeera mutaka anytime from now. Buli wawulira video eno nakugamba buli wogirayikinga n'ogisharinga akibeera kikulu nnyo. Kakati Bobi Wine ng'ateekateeka okudda Mu7 ng'agambye nti agenda kubangalayira ki ekiddako. Njagala osooka owuliremu omukugu wabula n'ebigambo Bobi Wine bino bikulu nabyo njagala obiwe time.
Bobi Wine Robert Kyagulanyi again sooka olabe wano katono kubanga wano abateze sooka omulabe wano katono.
Finally, I am going to come back to Uganda. I've refused to say I'm in exile, even though technically I am, but I refuse to say that. I've told my people that I am on a move, I'm on a mission, and the final destination is going to be Kampala, Uganda. I've refused to say I'm in exile, even though technically I am, but I refuse to say that. I've told my people that I am on a move, I'm on a mission.
Finally, he's coming back technically. Kubatomeza. Technically, kubakozesa ensobi. Kubanga chasinga kwagala. Please, NRM yange banywanyi bange omusajja akomawo naye Katego Bob Wine Katego kubanga manyi aliyo kutukozesa mistake timugwa mu mistake. You are coming back, come back. Muleke, coming back, welcome back. Full stop. Okay. Welcome back. Negati ensebegenda kuvawa. Ensebegenda kuvawa mumanyiwo. Coming back technically. Kati chosina kwebuzo tana tunira Bobi Wine okukoma okwe ani yamuliride munga komewo ye okomawo di lwacho okomawo lwachi wali wavaawo bani bafunira mu kino kati business zikomyewo 99% abalya mu kuchaguranya kati bafuyira akagala komewo. Cash crop is coming back. Yes. Now bani wajubilating nga komewo chikwewunyiza se opposition yenyivu ye kukomawo naye abamufunamu mu kintu bebasanyufu lwaki kati budget zigenda kufuluma kati emirimu girabise kweli ne technically oba tactically nga wagambi technically kati ne government emukwatse emukwate technically oba tactically. Simple mathematics.